How y'all doing out there? This is your man, Nico B, Black Effect. I want to get into this message. Man, people be thinking that, you know, when you have the brothers or you have, the prophets or people of the Lord or just a lot of enlightened people speaking on this homosexual agenda being put, this homosexuality being pushed to children. When you have people saying that, you have some people who be like, well, I don't know about that. What do you mean? Some people bury their head in the sand. But and those people, this is why the Lord tell you, that you have to that you have to be against this stuff. Otherwise, you're with it. Like, people try to stand in a neutral ground. But you have to pick a side, man. Because right now, I've been seeing these things pop up all over YouTube. These quizzes asking, like, these ads, these quizzes will pop up and be like, check and see, are you gay? Like, where do they do that at? Like, they have, like, these quizzes are popping up like how you see these online game ads pop up. You seeing it on the screen. I'm showing you on the screen. And what I'm saying is, how the heck are you going, you kids watch all type, they don't restrict, and these ads and these type of, anybody can access this quiz. And they ask you stupid questions, so you're gonna obviously have kids, go down there and click this stuff. You gonna have mentally ill people click this stuff, they gonna take these quizzes. And I'm saying kids are very susceptible. They gonna, just then they may question. They may be taking these stupid trivial quizzes, questioning, then in turn questioning their sexuality. And they not even, when they weren't gonna do that otherwise. But you have them, you confusing them with this stupidity. Again, they put these type of, they putting homosexuality in children's cartoons. This is a sexual preference, man. That's like them putting somebody who like to hit women from the bike, or in cartoons and calling them the backbuster, or calling a nigga with, in the cartoons who got a fetish for Chinese women or something. Like, come on, bro. That's a sexual preference. No one cares. And children should not be thinking about that stuff. Shouldn't be introduced into sexual deviations. They shouldn't even be introduced to, they can't even know nothing about the proper form of just heterosexual sex. They don't know anything yet, and we've learned there's been studies done on this. Scholars and doctors know this. Psychiatrists and psychologists know this. That anyone being introduced to sex, but but too early, it can indefinitely forms of hardcore sex and sexual deviations can cause confusion within that young person's mind, that sticks with them all the way through their adult life. Until Jesus Christ himself irons it out, and they go, get some help for that. So it's like, come on. You can't fool us anymore. I see what's going on. Those of us who have discernment from the Lord see what's going on. And more you pastors should be, should be bombing on that. More you pastors should be bombing on this agenda and going against it, instead of just turning a blind eye to it. Some of these churches and pastors they're actually with the agenda, man. They just going with the agenda, because they'll second this nonsense like born gay and all of this foolishness. And that's why you get stuff like this. They'll second nonsense like, a child should be able to pick their sexuality and stuff. Man, God is angry with you. You a false prophet, man. And again, I'm showing you examples. You have it in cartoons. You have drag queens preach reading to children. Like, what is the point? Like drag queens with their balls hanging out and, teaching them inappropriate stuff. You have women in the communities, these women who lesbians teaching children inappropriate stuff. You got women holding classes, teaching them inappropriate dances and teaching them to flip on the poles and all of this stuff. You have the these ads that's popping up on regular programming. Like the kid can scroll YouTube. I'm talking about on a scrolling screen. That's where these ads pop up. They got it on Instagram. You got it on when you see these rap blogs and things like that, they always promoting the homosexual rappers, the rappers who wear dresses. You got all these rappers putting on dresses and stuff, and we know kids pay attention to them. Lil Nas X is the most streamed artist. The most streamed male artist right now is Lil Nas X. He's officially done it. Gay rappers now they officially got, he's officially popping for them. Lil Nas X, blatantly. It's crazy, man. And children pay attention to this stuff. Nowadays, you can't even shield your children from, this type of. And look at his videos. His videos are that'll traumatize a child's mind. Young kids, yes. Adolescents. We being foolish here, on this earth, but that's because, it's funny how when we a lot of people you talk to today, they don't go to church, they not religious, they don't have Jesus Christ, they don't worship Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And look at what's happening to the earth. I mean, look at what's happening to the country. But then it's happening, it's happening all across this, this planet. But on the country, I'm talking about America. Look at the prosperity of America. Look at the people, the morality of America. The more and more people pull away from the Lord, the more and more the society falls into depravity, and the more and more that the weaker society, the weaker and weaker society gets, the more and more divided it becomes, the more and more chaotic it becomes, the more and more mental illnesses people develop. It's a plague going on the earth right now. Let people tell it. But the devil is using all of these things. You know what I'm saying? He using all of these. He's operating under a smoke screen to try to get rid of, God's people. That's the plan. You understand? You got people who getting pinpointed. They think it's the anti-vaxxers or the. But who are the people who not gonna really go for any of this and who gonna stand against it? That's God's people. You got a lot of people, who might not be with this stuff and don't like what they seeing on, in this country. Don't like how, the state of people, in relationships and relations and things like that, state of living. But they tied their head in the sand through fear and cowardice. This right here it's not time. It's time to stop hiding. People don't really, but today, man, people don't really care about no children. We've seen that. It's an agenda, like I said, to be. They want your kids. They want your male kids gay. So they can be little boy toys for these older men. They want your your daughters. Really, they want them to be popping it and busting it loose and be having just sex with anybody and anything from a young age. You understand? They want her 12 years old to be doing that. Like, just trust me, that's the agenda. Like, they eventually it's gonna be like, why can't young people have autonomy for who they want to, sleep with? They already giving them rights to inject themselves with all type of medications and, without your consent. They basically turning your kids against you, man. But look, and you like, who is they, man? I already told you. There's strong powers at work here. Not only is, like the Bible say, we fight against powers of the air, spirits and principalities of the air. So we fight against demonic forces, and these demonic forces, they are informing You know, they inform a certain group of people. There's a certain group of people who know these forces exist. They can and they give them. They have the ability to give gifts. This group of people manipulating the whole earth. This group of, and I'm convinced of that. That's not just the country, because America is a small pawn in this. This group of people manipulates the whole earth. They, you know what I'm saying, and they have an agenda. So, and black people, it's not a black and white thing, because black people, if you really look at it, we're the progenitors of all the races. We are the ones here first. That's why we're here, we're everywhere around the globe. You understand? So we got to really get out, and that's another thing. We got to get our head out of the sand for that stupid, like, looking at stupid agendas like that. Stupid. We've been talking about black and whites and races for the longest. That construct over here in America that was created over here. We all, and we can't, some of us, we on this white supremacy. Oh no, the white cops killing us. This is just a cycle that repeats itself over and over, and that's nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You need to break that cycle and understand that it's between good and evil. You go in, when that battle come, you going to have white people that you need to, link up with. I always be working with white people, bro, because they was over here, they civilized things over here first. So they are ahead of a lot. They were ahead of a lot of things. And so that means in turn, they had knowledge of things that we needed to get. You understand? So it would behoove you to, either, if you're not going, because you don't always have to, it don't matter who the information come from. For me, you don't always have to learn it yourself. Just like, to me, I learned a lot of things on YouTube. And it's a lot of dudes, who I watch on YouTube who are white. You understand? And they have good information that I didn't already know. So, if they know something, and then sometimes they can, you could do the same. It's not just, it doesn't, what I'm saying is it doesn't matter. You understand? In the big grand scheme of things. Do some of us as black people just act like, really reverse racist, like y'all hate white people. And y'all need to stop that. Because I get it's white people who don't want these agendas pushed to their kids. They don't want their kids basically being brainwashed, being set to confusion, you know what I'm saying, and then turned against them. And that's just basically how it is. They're recruiting your children. And this younger generation, man, straight men is gonna be, they trying to look at them as the enemy. They trying to turn on them in this country for the things that the heroes, the people who built this country, the people who held the principles and morals that's kept this country together. The heroes of this, the people we looked at as heroes, they turning on them in this country now. It's like Order 66. I've said this before. So with that being said, man, look, man, y'all need to, now it's time to stand up, bro. Like, this COVID stuff, they keep trying to bring up all these silly variants. Man, don't fall into these smoke screens, man. Look at the real agenda and who's really behind it. It's time, man. The battle between good and evil. I really do, it really will behoove you. And I implore you to get Jesus Christ in your life. Get a relationship with the Creator God. Because he'll give you discernment on what's really going on down here. He's done it before. The book of Ezekiel, he was giving Ezekiel all of these. He was talking to Ezekiel, the play-by-play, as the whole country, but his people was burnt, was getting killed, going into captivity, country burning. You understand? And he was telling, and Ezekiel was talking to the Lord. He was keeping him in the know. A lot of y'all not in the know because y'all don't have a relationship with the Lord. Y'all don't want to listen. Every time you talk, and he's like, this guy stuff, you're not going to listen about till it's too late. Especially you black people, man. Y'all are the chosen people of the Lord. Y'all the first people here. Those tribes of Judah and the tribes of Israel, those were dark-skinned, brown-skinned people. Those people that, rebelled against the Lord in the Bible, dark-skinned, brown-skinned people. And you still doing the same thing. African people, went over there on ships, enslaved, lost your religion. You know what I'm saying? The tribes of God that scattered across the earth, dark-skinned, brown-skinned people. Y'all, we need to I don't under, and it's always been, since traditionally since we've been over here, it's been said that we've been the most religious. Now, to abandon, and that's how we've jumped so many levels. Like, but look now, black people abandoning they highest power, the thing that's allowed them to, because by all intents and purposes, nigga, we should have been and failed and just been out of there, wiped out. But God has been our strength. Our belief in faith has been our strength. And I mean that's been the strength of America. And people can't see that. That's what's unified Americans. When black people learned the slaves, when they learned how to read and learned that they were the chosen people in that Bible, learned that they had more things to live, to die for, that they had something to live and die for. You understand? And it didn't matter. But no one, they weren't inherently slaves. No one is. And Jesus Christ set all of every man free. The white people knew that, they slave masters knew that. They were just manipulating the Bible. People have done that since time immemorial. It's a powerful tool. But, so we got to wake up, understand that's the battle that we fight. It's good and evil, man. And we need to get back together, to come back to return and repent, come back to God and get unified in this country again. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever. It's before it implodes, because it's too much. It's too many ideals going on. It's too much division. It's really just a bunch of individuality going on. Like, and people who don't even know no better, they don't want to take no advice. They act like they know everything. They'll rather crash and kamikaze on their own, which is why I'm saying, man, you got to watch your kids. You can't just let them just crash out and fall into wickedness, man, because that's basically what's going on. Depravity. You don't. We already got the Caucasian population, birth rate going down. It's gonna happen like that everywhere, across the board, with this type of lifestyle that's being pushed. You understand? So we gotta really, and a lot of things is gonna come from this if you continue to act like this is just a normal state of life, and this isn't causing a lot of wickedness and confusion across the earth. Look at kids right now growing up talking about, parents letting them get sex changes. I mean, letting them take hormones that harm their body, to where they grow up to be adults who want to cut off their own anatomy and maim themselves. Who would allow that? Who wouldn't see this is wrong, or mentally wrong, mentally ill, or a reality that we shouldn't try to a glitch in our reality that we shouldn't try to correct, to be able to help these people. But see, we don't see things like that. The perspective is wrong. I mean, our whole perspective is off at this point. And you can't talk to certain groups of people, because then in turn they'll try to call you names. They'll try to call you names. They want to cancel you, like they want to try to cancel the baby. In turn, they just turn into hypocrites, man. They want to control the same amount of control. So, wake up. In return, we all need to return to the Most High God, to be able to get clarity and harmony back on this earth. We definitely need it in America, man, because y'all owe God in America, But we've given in to, just like I said in the Bible, man, in the book of Ezekiel and the book of Jeremiah. All of these things have happened before. God has been pissed off, and look at what happened with Sodom and Gomorrah. God has been pissed off with with people disobeying, worshiping idols, becoming wicked. The majority of people, turning on God, basically, living how they want to live. He comes to the earth, and he only takes it for so long until he starts visiting punishment upon the earth. You read the book of Ezekiel, when he was telling how he was taught when he was having them visions. Ezekiel was having visions of the heavenly beings, those things with the four faces, the four wings, the wheels that was turning, following them. He said they spirit was in the wings, so every time they spirit was in the wheels, so every time that they moved, the wheels moved. And then could you imagine seeing those things, and then the throne appearing in front and on top of them, and then him seeing the Lord telling him take those, telling the scribe to take those hot coals and toss them out on the earth, basically, and God raining fire down on the earth. We don't know where they saying it's a meteor that's gonna come toward. This is scientists saying this, that there is a meteor that's coming towards the earth that may hit around, I think, what was this, 20, I think it was 2033, or no, not 2033, 300 years from now. Let's just say that this is gonna hit about 300 years from now. So you don't know. Do you know where meteors come from? No. I mean, science only explains the things that God does. It can only try to explain in our reality the things that God is doing, that he's, just puts into existence. Asteroid headed towards Earth. You know how many that missed that's been out there that's missed Earth? Now you have one that's coming directly. And unless we have asteroid defense system, it's going to be a problem. Stop the wickedness, man. It's your man, Nico B. Black Effect.